This thing gonna hit me.
It hit back. Oh, low battery.
It can't fly that long, huh?
No, it can only fly about 25 minutes. But I got 3 batteries.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it comes with a 3 battery pack.
Hey, Phoenix. Thank you. Hey, beautiful magic. We're just out here enjoying this. It is so nice today. My husband is flying his drone because the weather is so nice. It's finally a day where it's not windy. I mean, it's a little breeze, but it's not like it has been all week, which was like 20 miles an hour and stuff. 20 and 30-mile-an-hour winds. Hey, Melanie. What's going on today, y'all? I just came home to say hey. If he gets the drone up, I might show it to you guys. There go Gizmo.
Hey,
Gizmo, leave it alone. You know you're going to get once. That's all we doing. Because after a while, my husband's going to have to get ready to go to work. So I'm just out here chilling.
just relaxing. I wanna see it return like it's supposed to.
Oh, return to the pad thing.
Okay.
Oh, you working?
Huh?
Yeah. I'm talking to them.
Oh,
Well, I'm not talking about nothing serious today, girl. We just out here chilling in the backyard, watching the drone. Gizmo is so fascinated with. Hold on, y'all. Look at him. He's so fascinated with the drone. The drone is up there, and he like, why is it? What is that? Gizmo, you know you can't jump up here, so don't even try it. Bang! Don't make him jump over that thing. I'm gonna take Gizmo in the house
okay.
because he's doing too much. Or make it go up high so he don't think he can get it. Cause Gizmo be done jumped over that brick um thing and hurt his back or something. You know you old. He ain't got that many tricks in him. And he is trying his best to get that drone. Huh?
He's flying in between the columns. Or not. Or not.
He didn't crash the thing. Just crash. Did y'all hear the crunch? Hit the two,
I was trying to fly between the columns.
yeah, but you was way off.
Fail.
Huge fail. Did you get the crash on camera?
Uh, oh, no, I missed it. I missed the
How
crash.
you missed the
Move,
crash?
Gizmo.
Move,
Move.
Gizmo. Gizmo, like, I'm gonna get this thing.
Don't fly in between the comments.
I can't see the messages. Oh, I'm having one of my depressing days trying to manage my bipolar. Oh, well, have you tried taking a white bath? And are you taking your medicine? Because everybody can't manage their depression with just spirituality. Some people need help. So are you taking your medicine like you're supposed to? Or if you're not on medicine, do you think that may help? Because I'm not one of those people that's going to tell you not to take your medicine. If you're depressed, you know that you've been diagnosed with bipolar, you should be taking your medicine. I mean, there are other things that you can do, but if you're supposed to be taking your medicine, I need you to take your medicine. And if your medicine is not working for you, then you need to go in and have your dosage checked or regulated. Because depression is nothing to play with, and I'm not one of those people that's going to tell you to pray it away, because that's not enough. You need help. And there's nothing wrong with getting help.
You can see the little guard that got hurt. It's flapping. Oh, that's the one that broke before.
I can't tell. Well, if it's just, the fact that you're moving, that's more anxiety than depression. You're just anxious. And everybody gets that. You just have anxiety until you can get settled. I mean, because moving is enough to make anybody anxious. Moving is enough to make anybody anxious. I mean, I'm still slightly anxious because we haven't been able to find a place. But I'm not going to, you know, say I'm depressed. Well, is that what you wanted to do? Did you want to do the, what do they call it? It's not van life when you're living in a car. What do they call it when you're living in a car? Travel life? Traveling? Because, it's like RV living, van life. What is it called when, did it break?
No, this is the one that had glue. I glued before, but I don't think that Gorilla Glue is all that it's
Holding.
cracked up to be.
Um, what do they call it when you live in a car? Car living? Oh, nomadic life. Okay. Well, if that's what you wanted to do, then because all of those things that you just listed are things that could be fixed, right? I know it's going to take resources and time, but those are all things that could be worked on, right? So nomadic living is what you chose. That's definitely not for me. Your landlord won't fix it. That's a lot going on for them not to um, be willing to fix. They couldn't offer you another apartment or something? Is it a house or an apartment? They couldn't move you to another unit that does not have those problems? Well, I mean, then if if that is, if you see good in that, then why are you depressed? Just for the process, the moving process is stressful, because obviously you see some good in that situation. You say it's going to help you. Hey, Demona, you think it's coming from holding on to your past and not wanting to let go? Oh, okay. Well, if you know what it is, then you can fix it, right? You know what the problem is. Then you have to fix that problem. Well, Jehovah's Witness they're very strict about, if you do things that are outside of their teaching, they're not going to want to deal with you. You know that. I'm not even Jehovah's Witness, and I know that. That's something that you can't change. Like, you can't change the way, because that they have very strict doctrine. So that's something you can't change. You got to move on from that, because they're not going to change their doctrine. Yeah, I mean, but Jehovah Witnesses is not the only ones with that um, doctrine. A lot of religions have issues with people, but I know they real strict. Jehovah Witness will put you out in a minute, and when they say that you out for real, for real. Family, it don't matter. I know a lot of people whose families have turned their backs on them because they did something out of the Jehovah Witness teaching. You just have to deal with it. I don't really have nothing to talk about, y'all. I just came in to see what y'all was doing, because I know when we go back in, I might come back on later this evening, but when we go back in, I'm probably gonna take me a nap. Child, we done went to IHOP. I done had half an omelet
What?
and some pancakes.
Here, look. Gizmo. You got
Yeah, but if the family is not, if they don't want to have anything to do with you, you can't force it. Yeah, I just had a steak omelet and some. Why did they say that that pancake was cheesecake? It didn't taste anything like cheesecake though.
I think it is supposed to have some kind of cheesecake filling or something like that in it.
I didn't taste it. I mean, it was the strawberry part, was good, but I just thought about that. It didn't have any cheesecake though. We had strawberry cheesecake pancakes, and I had a steak omelet, and Babe had what you have?
Ham,
Ham and
cheese, and
cheese. He
mushrooms.
always get the same thing.
Thank you.
Ham and cheese and mushroom omelet.
Thank you.
He's so boring. I had steak. I had a steak omelet and a mango lemonade. Mango lemonade was hella good.
Thank you.
My mom only talks to me when she needs something. I just need to let go, but I feel I've wasted my life away. They put me through group homes and mental institutions due to my sexuality, and I'm here. I'm still holding on. How old are you? Because if you're an adult, you have to move on. You can't hold on to the past like that. You got to move on. Hey, Montoria, who else was that came in? Hey, Sandra, if you, oh, you're only 23. Okay, I see that. You're still young. I'm gonna tell you this. I have worked with kids who came through the foster care system. You're gonna have to get some therapy and move on because you don't want to be in your 40s still looking back on that whole I came through the foster care system, this happened to me, that happened to me. You're an adult now. What, they did to you in the past, you're going to have to put that in your past because you don't want to be in your 30s still, you know, looking back on what somebody did to you when you were a teenager. If you are taking care of yourself, you're going to have to get mentally healthy and move on. Because I have kids who still talk to me from the group home that I used to work in when they were teenagers. You have to move on. What happened to you as a child, when you were a teenager, happened to you. You got to heal and move on. If not, you are going to be one unhappy person. You are. And you're 23 years old, find you a good therapist, get in therapy, and heal. Yeah, I'm not saying that you're going to forget. You're not going to forget, but you can't let that stuff stagnate you in life. Every time something comes up in your life, you can't say, oh, well, this happened to me or this happened to me, because we've all had challenges. If I allowed the things to hold me back that happened to me as a kid, I wouldn't be nowhere near where I am now. Yeah, those things happened to me. I was adopted. My mother was an alcoholic. But every time something happens to me in life, I don't go back and say, oh, this is because my mother was an alcoholic and I'm an adopted child. No, I moved on from that. I had therapy. I moved on. So you're going to have to do that. You can't allow those things to coming up in your life. And 23 is a good time to get a good therapist and start working through those things and get rid of them. Because if you don't, they're always going to come up. You're always going to use that as an excuse for everything that happens to you in life. They put me in a group home. They did this to me. They did that to me. Every challenge that comes up in your life will be that. Right, that will be your crutch for the rest of your life. And it's not fair to other people because in your relationships, that's going to be your crutch. Oh, well, this happened to me. This is why I do so and so because this happened to me. No, you do so and so because you are using that as a crutch. You won't heal from that. Right. These kids, all of the kids that I worked with that were in group homes, they needed to be in group homes. Their parents were either abusive, on drugs, going to jail. Something was going on. They had to be in a group home, and they were angry at the time that nobody else in their family came forward to take care of them, but maybe they couldn't either. And just because you spent 2 years or 3 years or 4 years in a group home doesn't mean that the rest of your life is going to be messed up. You got to move on. You have to take care of yourself. You have to take control of your life. And that group home is just part of your past. My being adopted is part of my past. I am in a very healthy relationship. I am very stable mentally, even though I went through all of the things that I went through. My mother was a raging alcoholic who put me up for adoption because she chose alcohol over me. But that's just part of my story. It's a very small part of my story. I still went on to get married. I went to college. I graduated from high school. I went to college. I got married. I had kids. I got a divorce. I got married again. I've had very good jobs. I had a career until base closure. The economy took a dip and the bases started closing in the early 2000s. So I've been a very happy person. I have not allowed adversities of my childhood to affect me as an adult. And even the things that I went through as an adult, I didn't allow to stop me. So you have to start looking at things in a different way. These things can't stop you from living and being happy. And you can't look at everything as being depressed. You even said your dog was depressed. And animals don't have depression. Animals don't get depressed. They don't even think on the same levels that we think on. Their mind is not even like ours. It's not instinctive for an animal to be depressed. They don't think like we do. But you are even projecting that depression on your animal. Like they're not sad and happy. Of course, they show what we call emotion, Like when Gizmo sees me, he will, of course, come to me, but he doesn't understand the concept of being happy, the concept of love, depression. Your dog ain't depressed, girl. You know, of course, our animals can sense certain things that we may be going through. Like sometimes I feel like Gizmo can sense when I'm not feeling well. He will get closer to me or stay with me, but he doesn't know that I'm sick. He doesn't have empathy or sympathy for me because their mind does not work like ours. So your dog's not depressed. You're having symptoms of depression and you are projecting that on your animal, which is not right. So those are some things that, you need to work on, looking at things differently. I'm not out. If I do a reading, it'll be later, much later today. Girl, I'm too full to do anything right now. We just got back from IHOP and I got the itis. Ain't no way in the world I can do a reading right now. I'm so full. Well, then you sound like you need to go to therapy. You need a therapist. You need someone that's going to help you work through some of that stuff that you went through. Because it seems like you have a lot to unpack. So you need to uh, get with someone that's going to be able to help you unpack those things. Because you can't do that by yourself. You can't unpack all that by yourself. So you need to find you a good therapist and maybe get on an antidepressant or something that's going to help you stabilize your moods. I don't like to shoot me an email and we'll talk about that. I don't talk about that kind of stuff online. But I'm not a licensed therapist. I can't help you get medication. I counsel people spiritually. And it really does sound like you need to, those two things can work together. But it sounds like you need to also have a licensed therapist who can help you with maybe a mood stabilizer or something like that to at least get you on a situation where your where your moods are stable. But you do need someone to help you work through some, because it sounds like you have a lot of trauma that you need to unpack. And that's one of the things that I have always told people. I'm always going to push therapy because some people cannot unpack those things by themselves. You just pile stuff on top of stuff, and your life is, like you say, just full of boxes piled up everywhere. Like you, right now, you have all those, everything that you've packed up, you have it around. Well, your mind is the same way. Your mind just has a whole lot of stuff just packed up, and you need to unpack that stuff so you can be free. Look at that hummingbird. I don't see them over here too often. I was on that little bush where that bee is usually chasing me. What do you want?
Um, your studio is on my bag.
Take your bag, child. Take your bag. Take it. You just don't want to see me be great. You just
I didn't know you were married. You didn't tell me that.
I didn't?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, I have a husband.
Goodness. See, now you don't get me in
You
trouble.
better leave before he get home.
You don't get me in trouble.
Because he a big dude.
Sure.
He big. He'll fight too.
Gonna get me on.
He used to be a police officer. He gonna do some, and he used to do karate.
Just
He
get
gonna
me,
do some of that jujitsu on you.
get me all in trouble,
You
man.
better get out my backyard before my husband get here. You better take your little drone, cause he'll tear your drone up, child. I didn't tell you I was married.
But what do you want?
I want you to put some lotion on them knuckles.
Leave my knuckles alone.
That's what I want. I want you to put some lotion on them knuckles. Them knuckles look a mess. God, dog, boy, how your knuckles get that white?
Some lotion on them knuckles. On them knuckles. Leave my knuckles out of
Your
this.
knuckles look a mess.
Leave my knuckles out of this. Sitting back. I'm like, I'm hanging out with this little cutie here. And then she gonna all of a sudden be like, oh, but I'm married. What?
But you was in the military. The military didn't offer you any type of therapy. If they diagnose you with PTSD, do you? How did you get out the military? You can go to the VA. If they diagnose you with PTSD, then they should give you therapy. You can start there if you don't have any medical insurance. You can definitely start with the VA if you were in the military because that's free. It may take you a while to get in depending on what area you live in. I know here in California it takes a minute to see the VA, but they say some of the smaller areas. Oh, you were only in. But were you in for a month? Did you get? You didn't finish basic training? If you didn't finish basic training, I don't know, child. But there still are mental health. There should be mental health clinics in your area. Like, what area do you? What state do you live in? Because each state has mental health. They make now that's one thing. The states make sure they have some type of mental health clinics because you know they want to make sure they may not help you with cancer, but they'll help you with mental health. So find where you are, what state you live in. You in Alabama. Yeah, but you should be able to find someplace in Alabama. There are mental health facilities everywhere. Because see, you keep saying that it's hard to do everything. You need to change your mindset. You're putting roadblocks up for yourself. If one place doesn't work, call someplace else. Your the whatever hospital it is in your area should be able to help you find a mental health facility. That's not hard. You just have to want to do it. You can just go to your hospital and or nearest clinic and tell them what is going on with you. You're having problems with your mental health, and they should be able to at least direct you to the nearest mental health facility in your county or in your area. Because when I was working at the group home, the majority of kids that came through didn't have any health insurance, and they were on state aid. And most people don't get disability the first time that they apply. You don't you don't get it the first time. Most people have to apply more than once before they get it. So that has nothing to do with you. That's just how the system, unfortunately, is designed. You have to apply more than once. And sometimes you do have to get a disability attorney. That's even here in California. That's just how the system is set up, unfortunately. So that's not just, you. That's everybody. Everybody. Join one of the Facebook groups. There are groups on Facebook about filing for disability and disability attorneys. There are people in the groups that, have gone through the same thing that you have gone through and, may be able to help you out. Yeah, but it sounds like you need more than spirituality. Your trauma is deeper than that. Well, see, you've already set yourself up. You don't believe that people can help you, and so they won't. Everybody out here is not playing games. And if you have already set yourself up to believe that, then you really don't want any help because you've already made up your story. A psychiatrist don't have time to be playing games with you. These people out here working. They making money.
You gonna keep him or you want me to take him?
I'm coming in a minute. You can take him. Get his toy. Get your toy.
Get your toy.
Get your baby.
Come on.
Go in the house. Don't y'all lock me out. I'm coming.
You say lock you out? All right.
Babe, don't do that because you're going to get in the shower and I'm going to be out here bamming on the door. If you've already made up your mind that people can't help you, then they won't. You, yeah, you have to find, but see, you have to be willing to find one. You can't have already put in your mind that the therapists are bad or the therapists out here playing games with people. If that's the mindset that you have, then you'll never get any help. You won't get any help because you just being spiritual is not going to help you. You seem like you have a lot of stuff to unpack, and you need to unpack that with a therapist. Even a spiritualist is not, no one is going to really be able to take that time and unpack all of the things that you need to unpack, not with a spiritualist. They don't do that. They they're going to refer you to a therapist. They do want to address your, yes, that's what a therapist is for. A therapist is for to unpack. Now, there's a difference between a therapist and a psychiatrist. A psychiatrist is there to prescribe medicine. A therapist is there to help you unpack your trauma. That's two different professions. If you go to a psychiatrist, yeah, they're there to give you medication. They are the medical part of therapy. You have to find a therapist to help you unpack your trauma. That's two different professions. So, yeah, that is exactly what a psychiatrist is going to do because that's their job. Their job is to give you medicine. Yeah, a licensed clinical social worker, a licensed clinical therapist is what you need to help unpack your trauma. But you need both. You need both. You need medication and you need someone to talk to help you work through that trauma. But you need to find one that you get along with. And you need to change your mindset that people are out here playing games, because they're not. Most of my therapists I've been to, especially as a teenager, they always said I was in the wrong. Not once did my parents come to therapy with me. My mom is a social worker. Okay, okay. What happened to you as a teenager is gone. We are moving forward. You are an adult now. So what happened in your past don't matter. It don't matter what the therapist said in your past. You are starting fresh as an adult. If you can't move forward from your past, then you can't be helped. I don't care what the therapist said to you in your past. You are an adult now. You're starting from 23 years old. Because the therapist that you get now is not going to care what they told you in therapy when you were a teenager. You grown. So you're starting from now. You're fixing what is going on with your now. You're not fixing what was going on with you when you were 15 or 16 years old. You're 23. So we're starting at 23. So you're not going to keep going back to when I was 16, this is what they told me. Who cares? Let's start now. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can't keep, well, this is what the therapist said, this is what they, okay, you're 23. You're not a teenager anymore. You can't keep going back there. You got to start here. What do you want to do now? Not what happened when you went to therapy back then. Find a therapist and start working with them in 2022. Yeah, I mean, we all have times when this is just one of those days when, things are somewhat overwhelming. We all get overwhelmed. I don't understand why some people feel like everybody's life is perfect. No one is living a perfect life. We all have adversity. We all have days when we are more happy than others. It's normal. It's a normal emotion to wake up some days and just be like, God, dog, I hate today. But you got to keep going. There's not one person on this planet who has not woke up and been like, oh, this day sucks. And if they tell you that they wake up every day pooping sprinkles and unicorns, they lying. I have my days too. Today just ain't one of them days. Today is a good day. You got to change your mindset. You have, in just this small period of time that I've talked to you, I can tell, you live a lot in the past. And you kind of have that doom and gloom about you. You got to drop that. You got to, be more positive, think more positive. What happened to you in the past is just part of your past. Everybody has one. Well, why are you even attempting to help other people when you having your own issues. You got to get yourself right before you can help anybody else. You shouldn't